Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Just Georgian Show. I'm your host Georgian, and in today's episode I have a special guest, Matt Edmonds.
Hello, how are you?
Well, I call you Edmo, don't I?
Everybody calls me Edmo.
Yeah, Edmo is the nickname. But
Everybody calls me... I'm called a few names, but Edmo's the main one.
well, before we start our episode today, obviously people watching this will know what the episode is. It's A to Z of video games. We're going to do it in part 1 and part 2, just purely because we're going to have a lot to talk about.
We're not going to shut up.
It's not going to be able to be contained in one episode, I don't think. But yeah, like, I think my earliest memory of knowing you was like playing darts up the Springhouse or the Shell Club to our older
Shell Club
viewers.
to everybody. When we were at the one board in the corner.
Yeah, in the corner. That was probably about 2010?
Yeah.
2011, 2010.
It's going to be a good 14 years ago.
Yeah, I'd say 13, 14 years ago, easily.
Yeah.
And darts was like the first thing. And then sort of just being up the sprint. Obviously me working up there, you being a hunter up there.
Crikey, yeah.
And, you know, then over time, like, you've kind of come in and out of the darts thing, because I think you played for...
I was a spare man for a bit.
Yeah.
I was a spare man for a bit, and then the captains changed. The people going there, they had a few older ones, didn't they, who left?
Yes, yeah.
And then...
Different venues as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I think we used to go... there was a lot of things. There was Stamford and Rugby Club and things like that, wasn't it? That used to be. And, and then I become like the comedy relief.
It's like, we need 6 players, so we've only got 5. Bring him up.
We've got 5 and a clown.
That will do. Go with the clown. But yeah, obviously... Most recently, we've been playing in the Summer League with darts, and I saw you up there, and I think you or me, I can't remember, one of us mentioned the channel, and you just said, wouldn't it be good if we did an episode together and talked about
we got to do a video game, don't we?
I think personally we could do a video games, and probably if this is successful, do like a movie one, A to Z. You know,
movies, series, everything.
Yeah, movies and series. Because movies is a bit like hard to do. But I wanted to go through a couple of like things that I've based mine off of. Yeah. So not ground rules, because this isn't structured. It's a chat to a bloody Samson Campbell.
I didn't realise it was that serious.
What I meant was like, if it's the something, I've put the second word, so I've not put the. So
there's only one where I've
if put... it's like the Terminator, obviously they're 2 T's, so that's a terrible example. I know. The George, right?
You put it under G. Yeah, that's how
not in T. Yeah. God, this is why I do this live in one take, people. You get, there's no outtakes, no bloopers.
There's going to be one big blooper is what it's going to be.
Do you want to start with with A?
Right. So, as I said to you, there's loads of ideas I've got, and my main one. But if you were to say the same thing,
we can talk about.
One. Okay. Then we got 2 points of view.
For A, I've only got one.
Right, go for it.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, I knew it was going to be. It has
to be Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, I think, is to a lot of people almost. I'm not going to go as far as just. It's a franchise that a lot of people, because you see people with Assassin's Creed tattoos.
I think with
loads of things.
With this discussion, I think we need to sort of do a little bit of a background on what type of game it is, because some people might go, "What the hell is Assassin's Creed?"
Yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed, it's an open world game.
Open world game where you pretty much, depending on which game you follow, you're either on your own or. Because which one have you gone for again?
I've gone for Odyssey. Yeah, the one in Greece.
Yeah. Because you got Black Flag, which is pirates. You got what's the one in Egypt?
Origins.
So you
got Valhalla.
I think that's recent. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people follow it, because if you've got if you're not really a pirate person,
that game's not for you. Yeah,
but they've got a game that is for you.
Yeah.
But as I said, there's a lot of Assassin's Creed fans that I think would have probably played one, loved the game, how open it is, played it, and gone, right, I'll do number 2.
Yes.
Then I'll do number 3. and they'll have a favourite and a least favourite, but they'll have played it.
Yeah, what happened with me was it was like lockdown, and I was just flicking through the PlayStation Store, and you know when it says like 50% off or summer sales 70% off. I was like, oh, that Odyssey is only £10. I think it wasn't £10. It was saying ridiculously good price, and I thought, well, I know this game, I know it's good, it's open world, it's got a load of hours, so I thought I'll buy it. Yeah, and I bought it, and I fell in love with it. Like, I played so you could play as either the male or the female character for Odyssey. So it's either, I can't remember the man's name, but the woman is Cassandra. Yes. She's a Mystios, like an assassin. I think Mystios actually means mercenary. Yeah, but yeah, I love the game. And then I played Origins. That's why I know that game, the Egypt one. It just didn't feel as I don't know.
Origins sometimes feels a bit like an afterthought. Actually,
yeah,
it's good. I think if you played it first,
I played it in the wrong order.
It's another one of those. Right, if you played it first, you'd be like, "That's brilliant."
Yeah.
If you started from the beginning and then played that, you'd be like, it's a bit off.
Yeah, you if you went from like... but I don't think that necessarily how games work. Like, the first game in a series sometimes can be better than the latest game because all of what made the first game good gets taken away.
Video gaming history is dotted with exact examples of that.
Yeah.
Where the first one is Genesis. Yeah,
it's like the masterpiece because it's the original thing. Like,
that's the idea they had. Yeah, definitely.
It's like the movie Alien, and then in Alien Resurrection, it's like part of the DNA that we
you know what? I am so glad you said that, because my game for A is Alien Isolation.
Oh, okay, right.
It's a beautiful game.
Right.
It's eerie.
That wasn't even intended to be like.
That shows you.
That's why I've got him on the show. You know.
But it does show you our different eras, because he's sat here with a laptop. I've got.
Yeah, I've literally got
done in crayon, pretty much. So if I'm writing things that I'm not writing on his tablecloth, I am actually writing something there. So yeah, Alien Isolation is pretty much, I think you're linked to Ellen.
Yes. I think what I know, I've not played the game, but I know it's like more claustrophobic. It's more like survival horror rather than an action game.
I have a proper penchant for these games where you're stuck in a ship, or you're stuck in a base, or you're stuck somewhere on your own.
Yeah.
And you're like, right, get out, or you're going to die.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a simple premise.
Yeah. Well, a lot of movies are based off that. So
and there's bits of the movie music in it.
Oh, okay.
There's bits of all the...
Who did the music for Alien?
Jerry Goldsmith.
Oh, okay. I know Ridley Scott was directed.
Ridley Scott directed, yeah. And there's even the androids that are in it, the bots that are making... Because you're on a starbase.
Right.
And the starbase is pretty much smashed to bits. And it's starting to give up in places. So you can't just... There's A and there's B. But you've got to go that way.
Yeah, you need security code A to get through security door B to then get to B.
Yeah. And I think it was one of those games as well, which is made... It depended on the level of game you wanted to play. So, as I said, the music's spot on. It's eerie, it's creepy, it's claustrophobic. You're playing a game, but there are times you're like, I'm generally sweating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Especially if you had the headphones.
Yeah, and you can... someone played it before, because there are times where you sit in a cupboard to hide from the alien, and it'll come in and it'll crawl in, and you can see it through the paper. And if you go, it'll hear you.
Oh, really?
If you've got everything...
that is amazing.
Yeah, so if you're asthmatic, you're stuffed. you'll be like... And the thing will go, yeah. And it comes out. If you're in one of the ducts... Because you crawl around ducks in the ship and everything.
Wouldn't that be great if, like, one of the... When you're, like... You know, when you're doing the game, it's like the contrast, the brightness. Are you asthmatic? Yes. Yeah. Right, we'll disable that breathing part of the game. Just so you...
Just hold your breath for the entire level.
Yeah.
No,
you know the warning that comes up when you load up a PlayStation? You know about epilepsy? Yeah. They'll have that for asthmatic just on that game.
Or just to be in the locker, and then be like...
Yeah.
Like, damn!
So you can't find your way off this base, but you've got your house to pump. Bring the essentials.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful game.
Did you have any other games for A before?
Do I have any games for A? Have you ever played the Apex Legends stuff?
No.
I haven't. I haven't got a clue.
Is that like that's not like Fortnite, is it?
I think it's possibly like that, but I don't know.
I don't know. I've heard of it.
I don't know. I don't know.
But,
and another thing, I have put honourable mentions, by the way.
Oh,
so
nice. Okay. Oh, I've put some honourable mentions.
I've put honourable mentions of retro and other types too.
Oh, so right. If you've got in more detail than I have, but you're the
really
guest,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So honourable mentions that I would say if we're going retro, Asteroids.
Oh bloody hell! Yeah,
that's the game that if you were smashed in the 70s and just wanted to idly play something in wherever you were, it would be Asteroids. Simple as that. Now, where do you stand on things like big open map builder? Not necessarily like Breath of the Wild kind of open map thing, but kind of like. So I've got Age of Empires.
Oh,
but things like Civilization, things like that.
No, I don't like.
I have never been one.
I'm not really a fan of like when you said that, it brought me to like the roller coaster tycoon thing.
Oh, I love that game.
You know, like when you build you build a theme park.
Yeah,
I'm not into that. I want to be in the world of a theme park.
I want to be on the roller coaster.
Yeah, I want to be on it. Yeah. Like when we used to buy Lego as kids, James would build the Lego, then I would play with it. James liked the building side of it, whereas I was like...
You weren't the mechanic, you were the passenger. You wanted to build it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a couple
I can see the satisfaction of like building it from scratch. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like I just don't get any...
That's what got me into modern building and things like that. The thing that I'd done it. Yeah. That kind of thing. You realise how much of a nerd I am now. But,
well, I did actually, in my defence of Lego, I did build a lot of Lego when it was the lockdown, but that was because
it's very therapeutic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, in a way.
It's very.
You need like a good space. Like you need a table like this. Yeah. You can't do it in your bedroom or something.
Rush
like,
it.
One little piece like rolls off the bed. And you're like, where did that go?
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. But Among Us.
Is that the little guys?
Yeah, and I think you've got to find who the killer is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played that yet. Everybody said it's really, really good. So, if any of you lot have played it, let us know, because
the comment section.
Yeah,
well, my comment section's like dead, but you know,
it won't be up there. Yeah, everybody will be like, "What are you lot doing?"
It's like Among Us, please.
Yeah, Among Us, Asteroids. Obviously, I mentioned old game. If any of you are of my age, Afterburner, which used to be on the Master System 1. Before the Mega Drive.
Right, okay, so Sega.
Yeah,
right, okay.
And that's the reason I've included that is because me and my brother used to play that non-stop, and it would be. I'm
gonna have to look this up because I got the Surface Pro. So Afterburner.
Modern technology.
Yeah, Afterburner game.
Afterburner. Yeah.
Afterburner game.
And you were like, that's it.
1987.
Yeah. There you go.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It looks like Top Gun.
Yeah, it was Top Gun for the Master System.
Okay.
And it was basically...
Wow, look, they don't make video game covers like that anymore, do they?
Nope, clip art at its best.
Yeah.
And basically, you just had to get... it was one of those games like the Formula 1 and the road games of the time where basically you knew you'd... Or Outrun. You knew you'd reach the end of the level because the sky would change colour.
Right, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, like the graphics capability couldn't do that far ahead. Yeah. So it was just like, okay, we'll just do... It was like the early GTA games. Yeah. They make it really cloudy because then they can't show off...
they can't show off what's next.
What's far away.
And that's what they used to do, yeah. So that was Afterburner. And it was one of those games where I think I liked the game. It was rubbish graphics.
Yeah, but that's not always the case.
But it was playable.
Yeah. That's all.
And me and my brother would be like, I'm going to beat you, no, I'm going to beat you, no, I'm going to beat you, no, I'm going to beat you. He didn't care that it didn't have the right, exhaust port for a F16 or something like that. We just wanted to play the flaming thing.
Yeah.
And that's what Afterburner was. And I think that's what makes a really good game.
Not necessarily...
Exactly like we were saying about before. Like, we were talking to people and that you haven't seen for a while, you go, crikey, I've been here 4 hours doing this now.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the last one, which I think has become a bit of a thing, Angry Birds.
Yes, I have played Angry Birds. I think most, if not everyone, has played Angry Birds at some point. It's the same with Candy Crush.
Yeah.
I
was gonna. So, what's your view on that? Is that a video game?
I don't know. I think it's more of like a not trivia, but it's like more of a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Do you class puzzle game? Like, I think a video game that has puzzles in it is awesome. Like
Yeah.
Resident Evil has puzzles in it.
I love it.
And then,
We'll come to that later.
well, that's in part 2. We could just do a whole video. Like, people know I've done Resident Evil 2, Leon and Claire's run in this channel. So I've definitely. But yeah,
for games
I feel like puzzles in a game's good, but a game that's just puzzles isn't really a game.
No, I know what you mean.
It's more like a brain teaser. You know that brain teaser game that was on the Nintendo DS.
It's a computerized puzzle page on a newspaper. I know what you mean. I think that Angry Birds, I think, is
a game.
Is a game made playable by its format.
Yeah,
where you can make it harder if you really, really want. If you could you imagine like how we used to play Sonic. Or anything.
Yeah, I've got a PlayStation shirt on today as well. I found it in the cupboard. I was like, put that on.
Or anything like that, and then everything went N64. When the N64 came out, the platform became available. Really, it had a brain that was capable of doing 3D well. People had tried it before, but it didn't work that well. And then all of a sudden, you had N64, where you had a lot of stuff, Sonic including that, in 3D.
Yeah,
like all of that kind of thing.
But I feel like Sonic's a game though that doesn't need to be.
It didn't need to be 3D, but it's all right when you get it right. Like so, when not so much 3D, but when they started doing Mario Kart, and that was a thing rather than being side scrolling, that worked.
Yeah, well, everyone loves Mario
Kart.
I think I've actually put. I think I have. I'll put N just as Nintendo.
Nintendo in general.
Yeah, because Nintendo is awesome.
I have got questions for you. I know he's the host, but I'm going to grill him anyway.
Yeah, right. Are we doing them now? We've only got that. We're 16 minutes in. We're already
Mario or Sonic?
Oh, Mario more so than Sonic.
Yeah, I was Sonic.
Yeah, but
But was that because you were Nintendo, or was that because
my era was PlayStation, so I didn't have either. So I came late to the party, and the first one that I fell upon was Mario.
Yeah. So
that's the only reason.
My cousins had a SNES, and we had a Mega Drive.
Oh, okay.
So we were Mega Drive, so we were about Sonic 2 and everything.
I assume you couldn't afford both, so you had to have either one or the other.
It didn't happen like that in those days. Oh, it did, but only if you had
could you imagine if them days had like Steam, what we have now? Like you could literally have no one would go out, would
no one would leave. No one would get anything done.
No.
But yeah, so there is one more thing that I mentioned. You ever played Ark?
Ark?
No. Survival?
No.
It's on Pass. Anybody who wants to try it? Anybody?
Pass?
Yeah, on Xbox.
Oh, Xbox Pass. Like
yeah. So if anybody has played it, tell me what it's like, because I haven't got a flaming clue.
No, I don't know.
Right.
The bees.
The
bees.
Go for it.
Bioshock.
Ooh.
Bioshock is an incredible
there's another
game.
one that's...
I was late to that party as well. They'd already all come out. They'd already been all done. And I just saw it. It was the definitive collection, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
And I was like, it came out on the PS4, and I was like, wow, I've got to get this. It was some time ago that I got it. I think I put a photo on Facebook of me like taking a picture of the game, saying like, here we go. Like I haven't played this.
The journey begins.
Yeah. And straight away, I loved the world.
Yeah.
Underwater world. It was a bit different. It was set in like the 30s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, 20. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Was it Edwardine?
It was either before.
Was it Edwardine? Was that 20s?
I think it might be in the 20s. I think it was after World War One.
Like Jeezy Worcester time.
Let's have a look. I'm gonna have to look this up now.
Sorry, I'm going into like PD Wodehouse stuff now. Sorry.
Well, no, 1960s. I didn't know it was that late on.
We're well
off. 1960. Wow. Yeah, in the 1960s you play as Jack.
Yeah. Because you're in the Atlantic, aren't you?
Yes, yeah.
But that's another game, again. The more you play it, the more you find out, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's a beautiful game, because you play it and you're like, I didn't notice that before.
If you rush through a game, you will miss so many parts. But like if you read the files, listen to the audio books, it kind of like makes it more...
Do you know what? That again leads me on to something that I'm going to tell you about my game for B, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
And that is, sometimes it's the journey of it, rather than just getting to the end of the flaming game.
Yeah.
There's a brilliant... as a franchise, I've put Battlefield.
Okay.
Now, there's a bit, I think it's Battlefield 1? Battlefield 4? Battlefield 1. Pick one. They'll be
Battlefield was the game that had one of its like covers as like a smiley face. A yellow smiley face, wasn't it? Yeah. I didn't really.
There's a brilliant thing.
I have played the Battlefield.
There's a brilliant bit in one of them where you're a pigeon.
Okay.
You're a carrier pigeon, and it's taking a message to people. And there's this beautiful orchestral music, and you're controlling the pigeon.
That's it.
I hope I'm posing.
Sort of like when you play as the bird in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. And you control the pigeon, and the music's great, the graphics are beautiful, and for that one moment in that game, you are like, I'm a pigeon. listening to an orchestra of beautiful music, looking down on a ruined wasteland of a ground. And it's like Alien. It's one of those things, it's bizarre.
But for a second, you feel like you're actually in that world.
For a second, you are like, wow, this is actually, someone's thought about this.
Yeah.
This isn't just, right, shoot and blah, blah, blah,
I definitely feel like gaming is art.
Yeah.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
Like, people just go, oh, gaming's just for people who are just like, got literally no social... No. It's like a movie, but playable.
Yeah. I like watching films. I adore films.
Yeah, same.
I absolutely adore them. And the music that goes into it. So there are times when you sit there like... this is really weird. It's something I come across quite a bit. But you can see some of the older television, especially in the 60s and 70s, where you get directors who are just like, it's their job.
Yeah.
They get it done, they kick them out. It's how it used to be with old records. So I don't know if you know anything about records like in Motown and Detroit and everything like that. They had, each studio had a house band, and so someone would come in, so anybody from, I don't know, like Tina Turner to Aretha Franklin or anything like that. And they would come in and they go, right boys, this is what we're playing, she's going to sing, you've got 20 minutes to learn this, get on with it. And they would smash out these tunes. So you'd have guitarists like Steve Cropper, all these kind of guys that would learn this music and smash out these hits because they were against the clock. They went, you've got the studio for a day.
Yeah.
So you learn this, that's that. And it was like conveyor belt of just stuff. Sometimes you can see some games, especially from independent, and again, you've got to be careful with independent people who have made a game. It's not because they don't care about it, it's because they just haven't got the funds, haven't got the time, haven't got the resources.
They're hoping that one game,
this is my blank idea.
And
then in about 10 years' time, they'll remaster it and make it how they see it.
Yeah.
But again, much like with the studio thing, you have this thing of, I want to make something, but it's down to resources.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, now with gaming, we're at this point where you can create a brilliant game with the technology we got, but it's not in everybody's hands. Whereas, did you ever play... again, that was another little independent thing. Little Big Planet.
Yes, it was one of, I think it was one of the PlayStation 3 launch titles.
Yeah. And again, not a huge idea, but a great game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have played Little Big Planet because it was
therapeutic.
Yeah, the music was good.
Simple premise.
Yeah, anyone could play it.
It
wasn't like age restricted.
There's no restriction on it. It's not got a... See, this is the other problem.
Didn't Stephen Fry do the voice? He did the voice.
So this is the other thing as well. Is like, I mean, you're a big Wars fan, aren't you? Star Wars, yeah, of course, yeah. I'm a big Star Wars fan, very big Star Trek fan. Always have been since I was a kid. And through time, you get people going, how can you keep up with Star Trek? How can you keep up with Star Wars? There's so much. How do you get into it? And you're like, I can see how it's a big well.
Yeah.
If you're coming into it new.
It's like the MCU.
Yeah. I mean, crikey, if you were coming into Marvel now and didn't know what you were looking at,
yeah,
where'd you start?
Like, you can't really just dip your toe in.
No.
You have to literally be shoved into the water.
And again, it's different levels, because again, if you start going into things like graphic novels where you're looking at New 52, blah, 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 and everything, and then you're like, crikey, where'd you start?
Yeah.
The Golden Age, Silver Age, blah, 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 all that kind of... Anyway, but yeah, I think Bioshock is another one of those things where, like I was saying with Alien, the way it's set is perfect.
Yeah.
And again, like how it all started, the journey of it, if you play it a couple of times. I know people who play one, like, however, she'll read a book once, and that's it.
Yeah.
She'll never read it again.
People do that with movies, where it's like, how can you watch the same movie again? Because I freaking love this movie. It's like, it's an escape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Again, that's what I was
like
saying.
This
about...
world that we occupy can be pretty shitty sometimes. So when you go home and you're like, I'm just going to shove a movie on that I know I'm going to enjoy, rather than going into a movie that I don't know if I'm going to like.
Yeah, the world is less shit because I know this film is going to pick me up.
Yeah, exactly. You put that one on and you're like, I'm in a good mood now.
And again, going back to what we were saying about there's certain films that you like, you will know film people because they will go. I've got to the point with certain films where I know mannerisms of music because of the person who composed it.
Yeah.
So you can hear Jerry Goldsmith's music in Alien, Star Trek 1, Gremlins, all that kind of thing. You know it's him.
I know when it's John Williams.
You know when it's John Williams. You know when it's Alan Silvestri for Back to the Future and things like that.
You know when it's Danny Elfman.
Yeah, you know when it's Danny Elfman. Anything from Simpsons all the way to the Batman films.
Yeah.
You know it's him. And you'll get to the point where... Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that gets under copyright, actually.
But anyway, ignore that. But then you look at things like people where we were talking about directors, when you get into directors and everything. So it's like there are people, which is why I mentioned the studio thing, who just want to come in and get the thing done.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit in one of the really early Doctor Who films, Doctor Who series, like in the 60s, where basically there's the camera looking at the sun. It pans away from the TARDIS crew and looks at the sun. Right. And then the camera reverses out, it pans back, and that sun has actually become the highlight on the dome of a Dalek.
Oh, okay, right.
It's like someone's thought about this.
Yeah.
Someone's had an idea. And it's like all again about where you put the camera and things like that. So it's like Dalek. If you're in front of a Dalek and you're looking at it like that, it's not that menacing. If you actually put the camera low and make it tall and things like that.
They say with like things like Alien, things like any monster movie, the less time you see the monster, the more scary it is.
Because your imagination runs wild. Yeah. It's mad.
Or if a monster or a villain or whatever doesn't talk as much either. Like Darth Maul, to me, is menacing because he doesn't talk. He's just an assassin.
Silent assassin, Yeah.
Whereas like a Darth Vader is cool because what he says and how he looks is intimidating before he's even ignited his lightsaber. Do you know what I mean? You're already lost. You know, like when it was like back in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, even the early 2010s, a darts player would go, "Fuck, I got Phil Taylor."
Yeah,
you knew you were going to lose.
It's all in your brain.
You already know you're going to lose
and
because you got Phil Taylor.
I think that's where people like MVG have kind of got that thing where
Gerwin Price.
Yeah, they've got that kind of.
I can beat anyone on my day.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players now, like going way off topic. Like we're only on the beans and we're 27 minutes. It's going to have to be like 3 parts.
It's going to be 3 parts. You know it.
Where was I? Now with darts, it's like there's so many good players now. Whereas like in Phil Taylor's day, you only had like say 2 or 3 at the time. You had, at one point, you had Lewis Barney. Or you had like James Wade, Gary Anderson. Now you've got at least a top 5, maybe 10 players at a push that can beat the best 2.
I think what's kind of happened. A couple of things have been proven in the dart world at the moment. What happened exactly as you said with Phil Taylor was he was unbeatable.
Yeah.
MVG comes along and raised the bar a bit more. Realised I've got to take the game to him.
I think
MVG, so everybody
elevated it, and then everyone done the same thing.
So everybody went, "There's the bar.
Yeah.
If you want anything, you've got to get to this bar, or just don't bother."
Yeah.
And again, another thing, very much like what's happened with snooker, with Barry and what he's done with all that. There's more events.
Yes.
There's all these events. So I think in
coverage
the
as well.
Yeah, I think in the PDC there was a time where it was only like. Was it something like 7 events in a year?
Possibly,
something silly like
the World
that.
Series.
The World Series, and then crikey, we're now everywhere.
Yeah.
Snooker, the same kind of thing. The power snooker
in
thing.
America.
Yeah.
It's in Australia.
And then now all of a sudden, you haven't got to be top bar to get money.
No, top. I'd say top 32. You don't have to do anything else but darts for a profession.
And again, exactly like we were just saying with Phil the Power Taylor, with MVG, Gerwin Price, all that kind of thing. If they get in your head, you've already lost.
Yeah.
If they get in your head, you've already lost. If, on the other hand, you have a bit of oomph in yourself and a little bit of... I mean, you see how quiet Snakebite can be off the camera. In front of the camera, he's jumping across the bloody stage.
Well, he doesn't do that much anymore.
He doesn't do
done that trip.
Yeah. But...
I think he realised, I am actually of an age.
Yeah.
I think he's actually... Peter Wright's actually older than... I think a lot of people...
About 40?
No, I think he's older than that, mate.
No.
I think he's like 53.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people think... He's well, it's because obviously he's like very flamboyant, you know. With
53, I'm 37, so I've got years left to become a sportsman if I want to.
Darts is I know we've gone from Darth Vader to darts, but
that's why you watch this.
Yeah, but I feel like darts is a prime example of a sport where you don't need to be of a certain age.
No, yeah.
Like a footballer, if you're 37, you're fucked.
Anybody,
you could not be a footballer at 37.
Yeah, I couldn't even be a footballer.
I can't be a footballer now. Like, I'm 26 and I've literally got no chance. Like, I'd
26 as a football, you'd probably have what?
Semi-pro at best.
For another, 8 years? Not even that.
No, my legs would, your legs just go.
Yeah.
You know, Tony Adams said my legs just went, I couldn't do it anymore. So
how old was Giggs when was it, 42?
He went for quite some time.
He went for a while. He was 42, I think he was when he gave up. But, the other thing as well is where they brought that bar up, you've got to be on your game, because if you have one game where you're not top, you will be beaten now.
Yeah.
And then look at going, I mean, he was rugby, wasn't he?
Yeah, from rugby.
So you can come in with these things.
Yeah. But
and again, practice is key. Practice is key, as always, and do what you want to do.
That emphasises the point, though, that you can be of any age and pick up darts and play it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, those open things.
Even in
really
our league that we play in, the Stamford and Corrigan, how many of the older players, like much older players, are like far superior than like the younger players?
Yeah.
Like, they are, because they're experienced. They've got more time.
They've been doing it a lot longer.
And there's a lot of players who like didn't play it for like 20 odd years. They used to play it in the 80s, and now they've played it all for 90s. And then they've come back into darts, and they've picked it back up, and they're as they were.
There was a thing the other day. So on telly, Bullseye was on.
Right.
It was always on at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And this guy come on, and bless him, Jim Bowen's having a chat with him. And he goes, "So what do you do?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do darts league and everything." And he goes, "Where are you from?" He goes, "The Welcome Club."
Oh, really?
In Stamford, yeah.
Really?
So all of a sudden, and then he's on this thing where you see people throw 140s for fun, and some people can't throw the ball side of a bar.
Yeah. But it's a very open game, though, because anyone can play it.
Yeah.
Literally, as long as you can throw that dart at the ball, it doesn't matter which segment it goes in. As long as you can.
Yeah, don't bother us.
No,
we're in the league. And
I'll take anyone. I'll take anyone. Have you got? I'm guessing you've got, as with A's, I think you've probably got loads.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, run through them, sir, and I'll tell you if I have played or not. Probably not.
A couple of things. As we've gone through, you're not into the open planny stuff. So big one for if you're a history fan of Baldur's Gate, which is a bit like Warcrafty, kind of open-ended Dungeons and Dragons-y kind of thing.
Oh no, I like open world games, like Assassin's
not
Creed.
that building thing,
But building, yeah.
So that was 98, and that was the first one to use the Infinity Engine, I think. That's the first one that used that. It was a PC game. Now, are you a console gamer or a PC gamer?
Oh, console.
Console completely.
Console all the time.
Now, there will be people who will beat me up for saying why consoles, PC gaming's where it's at. Build a
Yeah,
PC.
I can 100% see the benefits of being a computer gamer rather than because you can even plug in the controller from a console into a PC. But see, it's the money. It's where to put it.
As you might have noticed on screen at the moment, George is a lot thinner and younger than me. I, on the other hand, am slightly tubby. It's not a secret. To say that I'm lazy is accurate.
Your words, not mine.
I just want to put in a game and play the bloody.
Yeah.
This is one of the things when I was younger, young, dumb, and da-da-da-da. I just wanted to put a game in and play it. And the problem I had with PC games was reading the side saying requirement, looking forward to a game so much, and the computer just going, no.
Yeah.
Actually looking at me and laughing.
I think, consoles made it just more easier and accessible to play.
Console gaming, I think, is
top loader, disc, whatever.
Those console games, and I think it must have been something they realised way back then, there's your cartridge, put it in and play it.
Yeah.
Now, before the Master System and the Mega Drive we were talking about earlier, we had an Amstrad CPC 464, which you put the tape in and you waited for it to load. Yeah. It was all on that game, which is something I'll come to later. In part 50. And you waited for it and you played it. And it was one of those things where you knew it was going to happen, you knew it was going to eventually load, and you were looking forward to playing it. And when I say load, it was only like 5 minutes. But you wait and play the game. It was brilliant. The computer thing there are games now that are people's favourites. Like my brother is constantly building PCs and changing things in laptops and whatnot, and going, there are now games he adores that he can't play because all the computers now that are PCs are too new and incapable of playing these old games. And you now have to set up like I can't remember what they call them, like a proxy, where you set up an old computer system drive to run it on your computer.
That seems way too complicated.
I only want to play Worms 2 for Christ's sake. Console, does she work? Is the board okay and everything? Is it dry? Slam it in, play it. PC on the other hand, like, oh my god!
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and it's a lot like the time, effort,
and now
money.
all of a sudden your leisure time of enjoying gaming is now no longer an enjoyment. So
yeah, I've got like loads of games where I can literally just within 5 minutes I'm playing it. Yeah,
and I think that's another thing, taking me back to things like Angry Birds and all that kind of thing, where you can
just load it and
just play it. It's on an app. It's there.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, it's bad, but yeah. So, did you ever play Black and White?
No.
Black and White's another one of those you can be God, and all of your creatures act according to your whim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another. If you like that kind of thing, well, play that. That's a good little one.
Right.
You ever played Borderlands?
Is that the guy like that?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like animated, is it?
I think there's an element of cartoony.
Yeah.
It's not a cartoon.
I think like the first game got like really good reviews.
Yeah,
like,
I know there's 1, 2, and 3, and it's, I think again
like
on
Gold Edition or some.
And I'm like, I might play that, but obviously
I've not played it.
You're more modern than I. So.
Yeah, I've heard of it. There's a lot of games that I've heard of, but I haven't actually. Haven't actually
Bloodborne?
played. That's more like Dark Souls.
So
isn't it?
yeah. So
again,
I haven't played that. Anybody, if you played it, comment.
I've got one like that when we get further.
Okay,
on.
if we get.
yeah, in this
Sorry.
episode.
Other two more notable mentions that I will put on this. Also, you saying about puzzles and that Bridge Constructor. I love games like that. Just things where I can build crap.
Okay.
And just like watch cars crash.
Fair enough.
They're like looking at it going, that'll never hold anything up. I know it won't. Play, bang, crash. I love that.
Right, okay.
Anyway, two notable mentions. Batman, Arkham Asylum, all that kind of thing.
Yes.
Now, how many of them have you played?
Just the first one.
Just the first one. Play the rest of them. They're brilliant.
Right.
Absolutely brilliant. The other one, again, a little bit more retro, Burnout.
Oh, car game.
Yeah.
I'm not really into the car game.
I think I've said that on my channel. This is where I went the other way with cars, because I knew you weren't a car person.
Yeah.
So I've gone slightly car-y route as well.
Right.
But it's...
no, that
it's all in.
If we all like the same games, it's boring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I've written them down just in case. But yeah, Burnout I loved, but Arkham Asylum,
I like the game. I just don't. I like the story as well. I just don't like the beat 'em uppy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like press this, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom. I like that in a game when it's like a fighting game, but when it's like a Batman game, I want to be able to like.
You want to do what Batman? You want to car drive? You want to fly through city?
I don't want to. Oh look, there's 5 guys there. Oh look, they're shooting at me. Right, I need to jump up here, then fly down, hit them, hit him, and then go on to the next part of the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not going to go forward and say they're the best of my bees, but I thought they deserved mention.
Oh, BioShock for me. That's why I opened up it.
I think BioShock does win that. I think, to be fair.
It's your turn to start off with C.
C. Right, now I know what you're going to go through for C.
I've got 2 for C, yeah.
I'm betting COD is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have put honourable mention of COD because, to be honest, there's a reason it's probably the franchise it is.
It's ridiculously over. Like, they had a game, I can't remember what it's called. It might have been Ghosts, and it was terrible.
Yeah?
But then the next game comes out and it's a worldie, and everyone's just like, right, back on it.
I think that's why I will never.
It's got so much. It's like a snowball down a hill.
I will never forget the queues for. What is it?
Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2. I will never forget.
And that came out in like 2008, 2009, and I was like,
I mean, bearing in mind,
I was a teenager then.
My favourite level of it is the first one of the game before.
World at War?
No, the
Modern
Warfare. Modern Warfare.
Oh, right,
I think that's the one where you're in, like, it's Chernobyl-ish, where you've got the wheel and you're hanging from the helicopter. and that. I love that.
I didn't play Modern Warfare, the
That's
first
good.
one.
That one's good.
My first one, which is my favourite one, is World at War. I also like Black Ops, which was
World at War was actually the first one of them I played.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I actually loved it. In actual fact, so much so that rather than moving on to the next game, I played World at War again.
Yeah. Oh, if the multiplayer servers were like not all bugged and everyone's like just jailbreaking it, you know, like making it basically like so they're like invincible. I would. The amount of people would love to play.
This is another thing. I will actually search out just single player games just so I can play it how I want it.
Yeah.
I've actually got that point.
I am more of a single player game.
As soon as they went, it's a multiplayer game, and so there's no single player version on it. No, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
There are times I'm like that.
I think games have moved to multiplayer, like DLCs, expansion packs.
Yeah, you know. PS2 you had net play and everything like that.
But no one. I don't remember anyone.
No one
doing
cared.
That.
No one cared. PS3, same thing. Xbox, you had Xbox Connect. And you had a lot of games with Connect fitted as well.
Yeah.
Where you could do things with the camera and blah, blah, blah. But no one really bothered.
Oh, yeah, that's actually on my... Well, I've not put it on here, but I'm definitely going to mention that on my ease for what you just spoke about there. I'll go to that later.
Right.
But, yeah, I feel like...
That's episode 4.
Yeah. No, I think we can get to at least F.
I think we'll do it. But my one, I've got to be honest.
What is your C?
My one for C is Colin McRae Rally. Colin McRae Rally, it was one of those games where...
Never heard of it.
Colin McRae Rally, it's Subaru Impreza, the blue Subaru Impreza. You still have no idea what I'm talking about. No. So I'll talk to you, but you don't know.
Talk to them whilst I search this up.
Blue Subaru Impreza in a typical gold-wheeled, blue, yellow
How much spelling in it?
What, Colin McRae?
Yeah, the McRae.
C-O-L-I-N, McRae. McRae, I think it was Scottish, McRae, I think, or AE, something like that. But yeah, so World Rally Championship, but they let him do a game.
Is it 2.0 or which one?
That was the next one. So just Rally and Dirt. You will probably know it as Dirt, which I have.
I've heard of Dirt. Yeah,
now, Dirt is what came from Colin McRae Rally.
Oh, okay.
They did Colin McRae Rally
Jesus,
like 1, 2.
It's come out on lots of different consoles.
Absolutely overtook the world. Overtook the world, and basically,
one of them's on PS5.
Yeah.
Dirt 5.
Bearing in mind he died, I think, about 3-4 years ago in a helicopter crash. Poor sod.
What, Colin
McRae, yeah. I think him and his son. Yeah. That's it. That's the one that started it. Yeah. That game with the Impreza halfway in the air was it. And I loved watching Rally Championship anyway through the stages, because at the time it was through dirts and forests and the cars were flipping over and taking out people left, right and centre. And I love Formula 1.
Oh, same.
But I liked rallying in dirt and gravel and debris and exhaust.
I guess it's a bit more. Yeah, it's a bit more rugged, bit more. It's not as clean as like Formula 1. Literally, if a bit of debris goes on the thing, it's like right, yellow flag, red flag,
stop the lights. Everyone off. But yeah, Colin McRae Rally was the first one where I could be. You know what you were saying about being immersed into it.
Yeah.
Colin McRae was the first game where I was like, I can be a rally driver. Right. At the age of like 10, I was like, I'm behind the wheel of a Subaru Impreza and go mental and enjoy it. It again, another thing where we're talking about no age restriction. You don't need to know anything about it. You just need to go that way.
Yeah.
That was it, and I loved it. And then, but again, it was, pardon the expression, but you could play against yourself. You could play with yourself. You could literally, I need to beat that time.
Okay, like a time trial.
Time trials and everything like that. You're like, I don't need anybody here. I can have a pint legally and drive the car and try and beat my timing.
Yeah.
That was that kind of thing. It was entertainment. And then that went into Dirt, which is on there as well. Dirt is...
we're on D's. We're technically on D. We can merge C and D together, to be fair. Yeah. Because I've only got one D.
I put down Choplifter because that was the same kind of thing. Master System game that me and my brother... Again, the thing of... I think now... Would you say that's lost now? The thing of like, say you and your brother playing a game and trying to beat each other.
Yeah, like nowadays it's more we buy the game twice for both our systems because we won't like go like, oh, you know, let me borrow that. It's like, no. Because then you can play it at your own way.
Looking back, I mean, there's a couple I've got down here for that exact same thing, just purely for memories. I mean, Castle of Illusion, when that came out on the Mega Drive, I think we're talking about 1990 now.
Okay.
It was Mickey Mouse, and that was when you were going up beanstalks and flying on a carpet and everything like that and beating plants up just to get into this castle.
Right, okay.
And it was, we'd spend hours around my aunt and uncle's playing this game just to
Was
beat
it
the
their
shit
was it
out of
their
the-
console?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they
Right,
had one.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But we used to come around and use.
Yeah, just hello, how are you? Where's
And then
console?
we got one as well.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But that kind of thing, it's just all memories. So Castle of Illusion. I mean, going into things like Carmageddon. Did you ever play Carmageddon?
No. But as soon as
That
you
was-
said that castle,
Yeah.
it reminded me of Castlevania.
Now that's the next thing I've got written
Yeah.
down. So Castlevania, the first one of them was 1986.
Yeah, that was on the NES.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know people who've played it.
You can actually, I don't know if you know this, you can actually play that on a PS5.
I've never played it.
You've never played it?
I've never played
The music is freaking kick-ass.
Oh, is
Like-
it?
Oh, it's like...
I'm gonna have to look. Right, I'm gonna circle that and try it then.
Oh, it's literally it's a scroll. It's a
Yeah.
scroll game, and you literally just push one button, you jump.
Yeah.
And the main difficulty of the game is whenever the character gets hit. I think his name's called Simon something. I think
That's Simon.
it's Simon Belmore, something like that. I think
Okay.
it is. The main character. Every time he gets hit, right? Say this is my can of drink. If something hits him, he jumps like this.
Yeah.
So, say for example, there's a pile of water behind you, and obviously
Yeah.
it's a water hazard.
Yeah.
You get hit by a projectile. You've
And
got no
you've got
control.
no control, and you're in.
And you and it's literally so you get like I think it's like 3 hits or 4 hits and you're dead. But if you hit like a water hazard, you're
Yeah.
immediately dead.
Okay.
So that was the main part of the difficulty was that he jumps backwards.
Oh
And
right.
it's like it's platformer as well.
Oh wow. And you would have nowhere else to go but backwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
right.
even if you're facing the other way,
Yeah.
so you're facing that, you'll jump backwards like that. You won't
okay.
you won't go like that and then move in midair. It's a bit of a flaw, but that's what gave the game its difficulty.
All right. I'm gonna,
Like
I'm gonna have a look.
the first two, it's in stages. You know, when games are stages.
Episode 1 and episode
Stage
2.
4-1.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, like
/6.8.
yeah, it's like the first couple of stages. You're like, all right, I'm getting into this game now, and then it like just slowly like turns the gears. You're like, shit, it's getting harder.
Yeah,
You know? But because they brought out a mini NES and then a mini SNES,
Yes.
and they brought out a mini PlayStation.
They brought out a mini-
So I bought
yeah.
the mini NES thinking, oh yeah, I'll play Castlevania on, but I didn't like the controller.
No.
I didn't like the original NES controller.
I think
it was-
that's another thing I was going to ask you about, the amount of games that have been ruined by crap controls.
Ooh.
There's a
controversial
few.
one
There's
is
a
Resident
few.
Evil, but I
Yeah.
like the tank controls.
Yeah, I
I-
don't mind them. But
It doesn't
it's just-
it doesn't affect
I think-
how I play.
Yeah. I think
At first I was like, I can't get out of the first screen.
there's a first bit, I think it's, what is it? Was it Conan Veronica? Whatever, but you start in a cell. And I
Yeah,
had,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I,
Code
and I, had,
Veronica.
I had the thing set so dark on my screen. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm looking at
and
a
even
blank
when you
screen
find the
with a
map,
head.
when you find
The key.
the lighter,
Yeah, that's
it
it.
lights up the screen. You're probably thinking it's still dark. Like,
I can't even get
yeah,
a light
that
on
game
the
is
bloody
savage
thing.
to be fair because
It's great.
You get out the first bit and there's like 4 zombies come out
Yeah,
of the ground and
straight
you're like,
away.
You're like fuck it, like,
Yeah,
cheers game.
It ain't a,
No, don't hold your hand.
It ain't a
I
little,
like games like that, but I don't like when the difficulty is like scripted bullshit. Like,
Yeah, no, I can't do
Let's
that.
go to like I don't know a GTA game. Love the
Yeah.
GTA games, right? You're going around in your car and you're chasing after someone, and
Yeah.
a fucking truck will come out of nowhere. It's like that is so scripted. It's untrue. Like, smash.
roll credits.
Yeah, I'm dead. I'm gonna have to now go back to that place to start the mission again. It's like
But
don't
that's
do
the
that.
beauty. But that's what the beauty of the franchise thing is as well. I think is because you bought a Resident Evil game, you know it ain't going to be a sunshine lovely day.
Yeah. You know it's gonna like be dread.
And whatnot, and you're like, oh, it's going to be zombies coming out of the ground.
In the category of C, because I'm kind of like floating between C and D. In category of C, I would like to say Capcom as well. I know it's not.
As a yeah,
I'm not.
yeah.
I know. Obviously, I said Nintendo earlier as well, and with the N.
But I think they're actually
but
they
like-
are part of the game. So
like
if you-
Capcom has made some quality games. Like
yeah.
as a
I
company.
was going to say, are we going to do Capcom? Are we going to do Square Enix? Are we going to do things like that?
It's video game. So
Yeah,
like video
video
game
game,
companies
yeah.
kind of falls into the same
Yeah.
bracket. I would say.
But only other things I would say, do you remember Chips Challenge?
No.
That's another Amstrad CPC 464 for people who are
Write
older
these
than,
down.
older than Moses.
You can caption this as well, so you can like subtitles, so just in
Yeah.
case people are like, "What did he say?"
Yeah.
Like,
So
caption-
Chip Challenge, it's basically the old maze way of finding things. So they redid it again in like I think 1990 something, and it's like 144 levels.
Right. Okay.
But the original one was way back when, and they released it. It was one of the Atari releases for about 1989, something daft like that.
Okay.
And it's one of those games that started that get out the maze challenge of there's ghouls, goblins, sand, water, and that kind of thing. Whereas if you do it, plop, you're in. There's no ifs, buts, or maybe. But yeah, and that was another one that was good. The other one was going to ask you ever played Crisis?
No.
No, I haven't. I'll have to have a try that.
So some of these games, have you just like spoke to people or looked up yourself and got?
Yeah, a lot.
Have you played this?
There's three main things with me. Games that I've played to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. To death. I mean, Colin McRae Rally is probably one of, if not the first game I played to the end.
Right.
And completed.
Like, for more modern day, like you platinumed it.
Yeah.
Like you literally just,
I've done it.
Yeah.
Everything. I've got every trophy. I've got the shirt and that. The soundtrack, everything. Right. Number 2, I'm surprised the second one hasn't come up yet. Command and Conquer. Did you ever play it?
I've heard of that, but...
So Red Alert, Tiberium Sun, that kind of thing.
Right.
My brother was proper into it to the point where I think he paused it at certain points to go and have dinner and everything or whatever so many times that he burnt the disc.
That pausing it for your dinner doesn't work when you play multiplayer games with your mates.
That's gone.
That's so annoying.
That's gone.
Yeah. Sorry, lads, I got to go off. But we're doing so, especially if you're playing like Call of Duty Zombies, and you're
Don't go there!
you're on like round 80, and you're like with 4 of you, and you're like, we rely on you. It's like, oh, go and have your dinner. Like,
It's shepherd's pie.
yeah.
Yeah, those days are gone, man.
My controller's disconnected.
Yeah. And the other thing as well, Crash Bandicoot.
I actually broke back to Crash Bandicoot down just because we were going through like such a tangent. I didn't really bring it back round to it, but yeah, obviously I've done Crash Bandicoot on my
again leads me on to another thing of are we running out of ideas for video games now? We're remastering and rehashing old classics.
True.
I mean, we've gone through it with Spyro, we've gone through it with Tomb Raider, we've gone through it with Resident Evil. What? And I've got to be perfectly honest, I'll give Resident Evil its dues. 2, 3 and that are really good remakes.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I haven't played that yet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's as good as Resident Evil 4 2005.
I was intrigued because it's like now, I mean, you can do it with films, you can do it with series and everything, and like, are we running out of ideas?
Yeah, it is.
Comments?
I feel like there are some games where it's just a series, like I know we're not nowhere near the F, but fuck it, I'm just going to go straight to it. FIFA, like the FIFA games, they're always going to get an audience because everyone loves it. Most people in the UK especially love football, or have some sort of interest for football.
I liken it to bands. I love Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's my favourite band, but not everything they've done is brilliant.
Yeah.
I think
but you're such a fan.
You're such a fan of it. You'll buy it to support the thing.
Yeah.
And go, it ain't my favourite. But at least they're trying.
It's a game where they literally like graphics, sort of bit of a gameplay change, slap, done, put it out there. And that's not because they're not being creative, because there's not that much left to do with it. No, like, it's football at the end of the day.
Dead horse. Once you've done it, you've done it.
Yeah,
really. I'll tell you what, my favourite, Doom.
Oh, Doom! It basically launched a first-person shooter, didn't it?
Launched first-person shooter. I would see. I'm a Quake fan too.
Right.
I'm a Quake fan too, but I love Doom. And Doom, I think, I would probably say is the reason, especially in that day and age, the 90s, why those things like then Quake, Unreal, that kind of thing become so popular.
Yeah.
Face first, shooting aliens in the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
Become so popular.
Less so of the character rather than just
it didn't
the
matter
character's face.
See, they divvied out into 2 separate things. You could either do the Quake, Unreal, Doom route of I'm someone, but I just want to go round and blow shit up.
Yeah.
Or you could have gone the route of which Duke Nukem did. Which Duke Nukem had this character, he had this backstory, he was this babe-loving kind of chiseled jawed thing that was muscled up.
Johnny Bravo
for
adults. Or teenagers.
And it didn't matter what he was doing, you were Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Whereas Quake, you were like, there might be puzzles, there's things to find, is there something behind there, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Which I like both of them. But yeah, Doom,
should we? Because we're on 54 minutes currently.
Right, I'm gonna throw a couple at you.
We'll do D and F, and then we'll leave it. We'll leave it at there.
Yeah.
So what have you got for D's and
D's?
Remainder of D's.
Have you tried Death Stranding yet?
That's the
That's
Norman
the new,
Reedus game.
That's the new.
The guy
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, it's like 2019 or 2020. I think it was pandemic.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
No, neither have I. But it's like open world, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
2019. There you go.
Yes or no? Dino Crisis.
The dinosaur of Resident Evil. The problem with like the Resident Evil games, right, is that I was so... I think I've said it many a times on this channel. I'll just say it again because we're talking about it now. I was so late to the Resident Evil party. I joined the party of Resident Evil in 2019. And I've literally just... like, especially with the pandemic, I had so much time. Well, you got to remember, I'm born in 96, so the first game's already come out.
Yeah. Anyway, how old are you?
I'm not going to look at a cover of a
What were you, 21?
I'm not going to look at the cover of a game with a skeleton on it and go, yeah, that's a bit of me when I'm 4.
Instant death.
Yeah, when I'm 4. And then, could you imagine 4 or 5-year-old George playing with the tank controls? I would have been completely put off Resident Evil.
I'm out of my depth.
Yeah. Mum! But
your mum going to play it? I love Resident Evil.
She's going to turn it off. I'm like so scared I can't press the off button. But,
so, any other ones? Dragon Age?
I actually put Donkey Kong.
Okay.
Donkey Kong Country, or whatever it's called.
Oh, Donkey Kong. What was one for the N64?
Country, wasn't it?
It was Country.
I think it was Country. Let me look. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country.
It was.
It's like do.
Yeah.
Do.
When was that? 1999.
94.
Oh, crikey, I was well out. Jesus.
So that's 94 in all countries. Yeah, and then they ported it to Game Boy Color and Advance. I've played it on the Advance.
Right.
So it's actually a good port. Actually.
You are looking at someone who never had a Game Boy.
Thank you for joining us on this episode.
Because I nicked my brother's.
Never had it. Wow. Well, the game, that was my either first or second console. The first console I was like introduced to was the N64.
Yeah.
But then it was the PlayStation that we actually owned.
Yeah. And
then the Game Boy we owned. And then it just spiraled from there.
Right. How long we got? Well, we got 4 minutes. Right.
Yeah,
So I'm going to quickly run.
Fs.
Hang on a minute. I'm just going to run
you
through
got
these.
more D?
Yeah.
More Ds?
So Dragon Age, no.
No.
Does X? DX?
No. Oh, one game you probably got on there, Destiny.
Yeah.
A mate of mine, Josh, who was on this channel a couple of times, Josh Patch, he literally swears by it.
Yeah?
Yeah, he thinks it's like amazing. He literally just told me, like, get it on it.
What,
Why have you not played
is that Destiny?
Destiny, yeah.
Right, Destiny. I'm writing that down.
I don't know if it's like on all platforms or whatever.
Here we go with that. Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's kind of like the one you said before. Bloodborne, yeah, isn't it like that?
Yeah, could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking for. Always look for new games to play.
Again, I think that's like really.
Because the only way you can ever say his game is shit is if you tried it.
Yeah.
Don't go by other people because it might just not be your game.
Same with movies though.
Yeah, music, a lot.
You
know. Darksiders.
No.
Devil May Cry.
Capcom again, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
No, but I know. You play as a guy called Drake.
I think so. Yeah, something like that. Drake's Awakening's number 3.
I've heard it. I've heard it's good. But
Diablo?
No, again, it's another name. No.
Dishonored. I've bought Dishonored 1, Game of the Year edition, I think.
Okay, Dishonored.
And I haven't started it yet. But I think you might like it.
God, my search history for all these games is going to be ridiculous by the end of this because I've not played any of them. Oh, it was on Unreal Engine. PlayStation 3 and 4, that's good. Because then it'll probably be on 5. They put PlayStation 4 games on the store.
But it's first person, and you go around... Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher, Michael Madsen, Lena Headey.
Yeah.
Provided
I think Chloe, who played Chloe Grace Moretz, she's in it, everything.
Superbad. No,
Superbad.
No, not Superbad. The guy when he's the Kick-Ass.
It's classic, yeah.
Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Not Superbad.
Yeah.
Superbad's McLovin, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other one, I mean, and again, another thing for D, Dead Space. Oh.
That's been remastered.
Yeah. In 65 quid for the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We've got a minute and 20 seconds.
We will D until the end, he said, with a grin.
Right, so we're leaving it on D. Well, my F was FIFA and that was it, but I don't really need to go and extend the FIFA. Right, okay.
Dying Light, Delta Force if you're a PC gamer.
Dying Light.
Delta Force if you're a PC gamer, if you like your skirmishy stuff, anything like that, and you've got a computer that runs on Steam still, brilliant game.
I think everyone's on Steam, isn't
Yeah, no, I mean like old Steam as in it's powered by Steam.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought you meant Steam. Yeah, let's not confuse people.
If you've got a really old computer, like 95, like E-Machines kind of thing, Delta Force was like an early version of almost like Tom Clancy sniper kind of stuff.
Oh, Splinter Cell.
Yeah, Splinter Cell, that kind of thing. If you like that, find a version of that, that's good. Also had Dead Rising.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Dead or Alive, brilliant game. Dead Island. What game?
Dead Island. Didn't they make a second one of that?
They have got. I haven't played the second one yet. And there's a comic strippy version, like mid through, like episode 1.5, which is quite good as well. If you ever get a chance to do that.
Right. I think we're gonna have to wrap it. But part 1 is done. Part 2 will be literally in a matter of seconds, but for you guys, probably like 24 hours to 48. See you later.